Hello, SpongicX here with H Hog and Steffu, and we just saw the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie, and so we weren't keeping in contact while watching this, but we decided to watch it at the same time, and so all I can say is I loved it. It was a really fun movie.
That was hilarious.
This truly was a Roger Rabbit 2 in a way. Like, there were so many cameos in this movie I was not expecting, and I've wanted so long for, like, another Roger Rabbit to have, like, modern characters, to acknowledge that, yes, animation styles have changed over the years. There's so many different, genres and styles, and this movie delivered. You got, like, some really unexpected cameos. You even saw, like, Randy Marsh from South Park at one point, and, Rick and Morty, and,
Muppet fighting?
Yeah. So I guess it's safe to say we all liked it.
Yeah, definitely.
There were definitely some things that I wasn't too crazy about though. Like for instance, at the beginning it showed the backstory of the characters. So it's like it was a cute idea, but at the same time I wish it was a little more realistic. So obviously this is not the same realm as the world of Roger Rabbit because despite how it feels very Roger Rabbit had a few rules established, like how cartoons can't be killed, or possibly even that cartoons can't even age. And so this movie has a lot of continuity errors, like how, the main villain of the movie is a grown-up Peter Pan, but then they showed one of the Lost Boys, and he didn't grow a day.
Yeah.
So that kind of bothered me a little bit, and then I was really hoping that if they were going to go into a backstory of Chip and Dale, I wish it didn't start off in the year 1982. I wish it went all the way back to the 40s, showing them work their way up to, So I wish. What?
Yeah, that was an issue I had as well. It was like,
something hit me.
Yeah. Huh?
Why did Gadget make Whoopi with a fly zipper?
Yes, that honestly annoyed me too. I get it though. She's not the same character as the show. So in real life, she didn't actually have a crush on Chip or Dale, and vice versa. They didn't seem to have any feelings for her that way. But so yeah, apparently she married Zipper, and they had a lot of kids, mutant hybrids of like mice and flies. Yeah, that was really stupid.
Flies?
And then, not to mention Zipper'S Voice, that was false advertising. They said Corey Burton was going to reprise his role, and no, that was clearly like the voice of the Allstate agent narrator or whatever. Otherwise, Gadget, yes, she was Tress MacNeille, and while she definitely sounds a little deeper and older than she used to, it was still nice to see her reprise the role for how little of screen time she had, unfortunately, but... Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I do wish we actually saw more of Monty, Gadget, and Zipper. But
the other issue is with Sonic fans, they kind of spoil it with the whole ugly Sonic thing. I'm thinking, okay, I came here for surprises, not for spoilers. Thank you so much. Spoilers.
Well, to me, it was still a surprise though, because I honestly wasn't expecting that much screen time from him. He had like 3 scenes, and they were not like blink and you'll miss it, and so
yeah, he was actually.
And yeah, they were hilarious. I broke out laughing during those scenes.
Yeah, I was surprised that he actually like had a somewhat important role to the plot.
Compared to Wreck-It Ralph, where a lot of people got drawn into that movie because they advertised Sonic, and then he was barely in it. However, yeah, going back to what Steph said about spoilers, I will say I think the previews gave out way too much. Like the big build-up of like the villain and then his transformation at the end, and I kind of wish they hid that. And I will admit though, I liked the twist of how the literal Gumby Gumshoe villain. Well, I mean, detective was actually a villain. I thought that was pretty, and I loved how they hammed it up. Like, there's good in you. No, there isn't. That was hilarious. I think he was voiced by J.K. Simmons. That definitely sounded like him. And,
yeah, I saw it in the credits.
Yeah, and then the fight scene with him was hilarious. I just got a good laugh out of that. Him fighting a human actress.
Burst out laughing at the firework going off with the Disney logo and the hidden Mickey. I thought that was brilliant.
When You Wish Upon a Star playing in the background.
That was fantastic.
I'm gonna have a lot of fun going back and looking for screenshots for this movie. But,
I loved the stars on the Walk of Fame, like Yogi Bear, Squidward, Chung Lee.
Yeah, I noticed those as well.
And then, like how at the end of Roger Rabbit, how you have that big shot of all the characters coming on screen. So I like how they they literally mixed it up for this one, where it was the characters with like mixed body parts and all that coming out of the truck that they were locked in. That was kind of funny. I noticed like Bonkers was in there, and there was like a bootleg Patrick Star.
Bonkers. I love the
like,
Bambi Pegasus hybrid.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. They literally mixed up the ending of Roger Rabbit. And so speaking of which, before we talk anymore, let's break down like what the plot is. So for those who are going into this review, yes, I'm sorry, we should have said this ahead of time, but big spoiler alerts. This is mostly for people who've probably seen this movie already. But yeah. So the main plot of the movie is basically where Chip and Dale, like you see like how they started off as like childhood friends. They were real misfits, and you saw how over the years they got into a passion for working together for comedy and all that, and they eventually got their own gig on a TV show, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. It was kind of funny though how it showed how they had smaller parts before, like it showed how they had a real minor background cameo in Full House. They just digitally edited them into a party scene, and that was funny. But so everything was good, but then Dale decided he wanted to be a solo star, and I liked how the project he was in was actually the name of one of the Chip and Dale episodes, Double O Dale. So he wanted to start his own spinoff because he was tired of feeling like a second banana to Chip, and so Chip at the time was very excited about the show, but because he feels like Dale basically ruined it, and so he grew very bitter towards the show. But throughout the movie, we learned, no, Dale is still very nostalgic about the show, and it's possibly implied that his mother really pushed him into going solo, because like he is saying how he had to talk to his agent, and it was basically revealed at one point, oh, he was actually talking to his mother. So
yeah.
And so you see how they grow different lives. So Dale, he's like apparently his acting career did not kick off, so he keeps trying to have like these nostalgic booths starring himself at like these Comic-Con parodies, and eventually like a character named Tigra, who's like a parody of one of those like She-Ra characters. She basically or Thundercats possibly, but she encourages him.
An actual character.
They definitely gave her a restyling, it looked like, but so she gave him advice that if he wants more attention, he needs to bring the whole gang back. No one's going to want to see a Rescue Rangers tribute if it's just him. They want to see the whole team. So he realizes that he needs to get a hold of Chip and try to bring the gang back together. Meanwhile, Chip now works as like I think it was like a realtor or something. And so he lives alone with a pet, real life dog, not a toon dog, an actual dog that is bigger than him. It's kind of funny, but Millie, I think was her name.
Millie, yeah.
And so eventually they get a distress call from Monterey Jack, and this is where the plot really kicks off. So like he's like all stressed out, and he fears like these bootleggers are coming after him because he's basically under some kind of debt, and if he doesn't pay it back, people will take him and they'll forcefully remove his parts and redesign him as basically a bootleg character. I thought that was a really funny twist, because you saw how throughout the trailers there was like some kind of, it looked more like a horror aspect though, the way they portrayed it in the trailers, like you saw like cartoon characters like with dissection lines on them, and so it was done more comically in the actual movie. But it was funny how someone was going around, they were basically getting rid of Toon's parts and redecorating them to sell them on those cheap bootleg movies in other countries, the ones that eventually get dubbed and imported, and you see them in like Walmart bins and all that. And that was really funny, and it's especially funny later on in the movie when the characters were getting chased around on the set of where those films were made, and so you get a lot of funny like bootleg parodies, like The Simpsons and Winnie the Pooh, and fun sequence. And so, like, I also forgot to mention, obviously, Dale, he got, like, he wanted to be more modern, so he got, like, a CGI redesign, but that was given away in the trailers. And surprisingly, I was thinking, like, in the end, they were either going to go in a direction where Dale turned back to his old Tootin' self, or the other characters upgrade to CG to fit with him. And no, Dale's still CG in the end, weirdly enough, but it's hard to say if this movie is teasing for an actual reboot or not. Honestly, if they do, I'd love it to be like how at the beginning of the movie it showed them on their actual show, and it showed like footage that was obviously never seen from an episode, so obviously that was newly animated footage, but it looked very close to the original. It's like if they could animate in that style, I would love that.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was a fun sequence. It was a nice callback to the original art style, and then just like in Roger Rabbit, it cuts to like the live action shot, and I figured that was how it was going to play out, because I remembered seeing in the trailers but I actually thought that was how the movie was going to directly open. I thought it was going to open in the cartoon and then open up as the live action reveal, but it was still a fun opening sequence though. But
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, the whole movie's basically a mystery. Eventually Monty gets taken, and Chip feels like it's all his fault because he felt like the whole reason Monty called him was just a ruse to try to get him and Dale back together. And so, but no, Monty really was in trouble, and so he got taken away. And so the whole movie's about them following clues and trying to find him. Meanwhile, they team up with like a female human cop named Ellie, and I don't know. I felt like a character like her could have worked, but I just felt like her actress was not very good. She just had no chemistry with the characters.
Mm-hmm.
But so a part of me just feels like either they didn't need her, but obviously eventually they tried building her up to be a red herring. Like they set up a few clues that make you feel like something's not right, but then it turns out, oh, actually her boss was the villain. He was working with the real villain, who was an adult, washed out Peter Pan, and so. Yeah, like I know some people heavily criticize that because the guy who played Peter Pan in real life was a struggling boy actor, and he actually I think he committed suicide eventually, and
Oh, jeez.
so a lot of people thought that was very bad taste to have it be where the villain was a washed out Peter Pan, and it's weird though because I remember like in the trailers, if you had subtitles on, it said his name was Mean Dean, but in the end it really was Peter Pan. It's like, wow, that was kind of weird. And really, it should have just been like an obsessed fan who believed he was Peter Pan. I think that would have made it a little. It still would have been messed up, but I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't add up because they say there's acknowledging, okay, Toons can age in this world, but then Cubby is still a kid for some reason. And same with Flounder, despite how, if you remember The Little Mermaid too, he actually grew up in that. So yeah, there's no continuity in this. It's its own. It's not a sequel to Roger Rabbit, although Roger does make a cameo, and Jessica even got a name drop at one point, but. Yeah, like you can tell there's a lot of characters that Disney wanted to use, and so for some of them they were able to get the rights, and then for some they weren't able to, and so they had to make like parodies of them to fill the void. So I'm guessing they really wanted to put in some Nickelodeon characters, but they couldn't, so they were forced to put in the Nick Jr. name drop. Darn it, don't you wish you could have seen that scene, though? Ellie was describing how she really messed up one of her cases because Peppa Pig got stolen. And taken
I was
Nick
expecting
Jr.
a SpongeBob cameo somewhere, being so popular.
I mean, even DreamWorks characters made an appearance. And that was real, like you saw all of Seth Rogen's characters that he voiced like together in one scene. That was really funny.
And the Shrek body wash.
So they were able to get, although it wasn't as big as Roger Rabbit when it came to like you don't see as many characters on screen at once compared to Roger Rabbit. And so a lot of the characters that do appear don't get a whole lot of screen time, but it was still better than like how it was handled in movies like Space Jam: A New Legacy, where they were just there in the background, not even interacting with each other. So you got more interactions. You saw some of the characters talking with each other, like you saw He-Man and Skeletor at one point. You do get some Warner Brothers properties in this, but not as heavily. Like, all I really noticed was, okay, you had Batman in one scene, because there's a parody of Batman versus Superman. It was making fun of how stupid movies are getting nowadays. So they had Batman versus E.T., and that was pretty funny, I'll admit. And they used the live-action Batman for that.
I noticed a picture of Foghorn Leghorn in one of the TV dinners from Chip's Freezer.
Yeah, that was like the only Looney Tunes cameo I saw, like flat out like character. Like otherwise, I'm sure there might be some little body parts like during the dissection scene, because I know everyone's pointed out already, but during the dissection scene where you saw all the samples of the characters who were victims, you can see like Jimmy Neutron's hair, Sora's hair, and his Keyblade, Jiminy Cricket's hat, and all that. And God, this game is gonna be fun.
Oh my God, I've got a Kingdom Hearts thing in there. I didn't notice that. I did notice Frozone mentioned on the fridge, along with Ice Age.
But yeah, like there's just too many to list. We'd be here all day if we. So like, yeah, eventually I'm gonna look through like pictures that I took of this movie and try to find all I can. Maybe I'll have to do a video pointing out Easter eggs. But I'm guessing, knowing how the internet is, someone's gonna beat me to it. So what's the point? But and then of course, like the scene that's definitely probably got Steph all giddy was the ending, like right after the credits. Her favorite.
I was fangirling. I was crying. Oh my God!
I swear, like the scene that played out was basically Steph in a nutshell, because she would flat out say, like, "Come on, where's Darkwing Duck? Give us Darkwing Duck." And that's literally what the ending is. It's Darkwing getting jealous over the Rescue Rangers getting a comeback, and so
I was
he's
actually
demanding,
so
he's
sad.
trying to get the audience to cheer. We want Darkwing, and it was a pretty
I
funny
was
like.
scanning all over the screen, trying, oh, he's not there. I'm not going to get enough Disney afternoon. I'll accept it. Watch the film. I was thinking, wait a minute. Now they're showing the Disney afternoon poster when I saw Zombie Gummy. I'm thinking, okay, keep waiting. Quickly got my phone out, just in case. Suddenly, boom.
But it's funny how it's like Disney Afternoon was aware that there are Darkwing Duck fans. DuckTales already got its reboot, and so did Rescue Rangers. So they were listening. They knew people, and we are getting one. And ironically, Seth Rogen will be the director of it. Except it's a series though, so it won't be a movie. And they didn't establish if it's its own continuity or a sequel to the DuckTales reboot. But
freaking happy they got Jim Cummings to play DW again.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, he voiced a bunch of characters in this, actually. Like, he was Fat Cat, he was Pete.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, I was right. Remember how when we were speculating, we saw, like, there's that character chasing Chip and Dale on the carpet dressed as Prince Ali, and I'm like, is that Pete?
Yeah, it was.
Like, it was Pete! What was he doing on a bootleg set? It looked like they did nothing to him, just put him in a different costume, but...
I actually filmed my reaction to the Darkwing Duck cameo, by the way.
Speaking of Darkwing Duck, actually, I just rewound back to the end credits, and there is like this poster of basically a Smash Brothers clone called the Disney Afternoon Fight Fest.
I was like,
I
don't tease us like that. Don't
briefly
tease us. Make
just
that
for that
a
as well.
reality, damn it.
And he's actually on that poster.
And then I geeked out, and then I went further, thinking, okay, just in case anything else comes up, boom, Darkwing Duck.
So I'm seeing like Schnookums and Meat even in there, and like Bonkers and freaking that lady from the Gummy Bears. I forgot her name. The evil lady.
No. Oh god.
The evil lady near the end.
Either way, Disney, don't tease us like that. You know we want a Smash Brothers clone. Except,
Yeah.
top it even better. Instead of just afternoon characters, just Disney characters in general.
Better yet, we want a Darkwing Duck movie.
And with a teen rating, that would be awesome.
I'll tell you what the most surprising, craziest cameo was Randy Marsh.
I was not expecting that. It's
Same.
like, yeah, he didn't get any lines though, but he was on the screen for quite a bit. It's just like scrolling past all these characters in a bathhouse, and there he is, like just like in a towel.
Scream my head, I was laughing my ass off.
Or the bootleg Simpsons cameo was funny.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is there anything more to discuss about this movie? I guess we could talk about like the visuals. So yeah, like I definitely say it's not as polished as Roger Rabbit. Like some scenes were really good, but then some looked like they could have used more work. But otherwise, like I'm not gonna be like one of those people who say like, oh, all the visuals are bad. Like ever since the first trailer, everyone's been criticizing the visuals, and I don't think it was like so bad it's unwatchable. Some scenes are definitely better than others, but I still would have loved to have seen this on the big screen.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, God, we were given the movie for free, basically. You know, we're allowed to watch it on Disney Plus. So not free, but, you know, still cheaper than going out to see a movie. And, yeah, we're still saying we would have been willing to pay to see this on the big screen. So that's saying something.
Yeah.
I just want to say, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be in a film like this so bad.
Like I said, I always wanted a movie like this, but mostly a Roger Rabbit sequel. But I wanted one that takes place in modern days. And although it didn't fully go into the topics, like I was really hoping it would have had like a commentary on how CGI is taken over and how that makes like the old tunes feel. And no, they glossed over that entirely. We didn't actually see like a backstory of why Dale went CGI. I was really hoping they would have shown that. And they skipped like right over it, so it's like right when the movie starts, it's him narrating the past, and then right when it cuts, he's CG all of a sudden. It's like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. But although we do see the machine that was responsible for his CGI transformation, and it was modified to fuse cartoon pieces together. But and then also, I wish it showed how they met Gadget, Monterey Jack, and Zipper, like why they hired them to join on the show, or you know, it would have been nice to give them a backstory as well. And nope, it glossed over them. Yeah. So. Yeah, like, while we did love this movie, there definitely were some nitpicks, but not enough for us to hate the movie, though. It was still fun, and...
What did the Thai food have to do or anything? When I mentioned Thai... Even H and I were discussing this earlier.
I guess
well, it was like there's that part where Ellie was, like, mentioning what her favorite episode Chip and Dale was, and so she was basically trying to get Dale to look over the episode so he could pick up a clue
yeah.
that they need help. But apparently he picked up the wrong clue. Like, it was basically supposed to show that, okay, Gadget got double-crossed. That was the main conflict of that episode. And so Dale didn't miss up on that. Instead, he just, like, figured, like, he needed Thai food. And all of a sudden, that linked to him saying, oh my god, my friends are in trouble. I need to save them. They were sending me a code.
So basically, it was sort of like a Batman-esque clue, like him solving a riddle, but, like, his mind going all the way, like, to wherever the hell.
It's basically making fun of that movie cliche where people just come up with ideas because the plot requires it, and so that's what the joke. It was a joke. It was an
sign
inside
made me
joke.
laugh. The sign that made me laugh the most when the chipmunks crash somewhere, and before Chip thinks Dale's gone, it's actually a doll. You see a sign that says "Lego Miserable." I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, like there's a lot of good like background jokes in this. I even noticed during the part where they're going down Main Street, I noticed two of Fat Cat's cronies in the background.
That as well.
It was the cat and the lizard. They were really blurry though, but
that's clever.
They were just like standing in an alleyway, and they were still hand drawn.
So clever.
Yeah, there are definitely a few. I'm definitely gonna have to rewatch it at some point because I'm pretty sure there are things I must have missed.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I love the Scrooge Mcduck cameo, but then you see him again, the dollar bill in the 2017 reboot design. I'm like,
but yeah, it's too bad that's all we got of Scrooge. Just what we saw in the trailer, him throwing money around and laughing. That was it. So cool
still
to
gets
see
his fucking paycheck worth.
But yes, like whether it's in the form of a movie sequel or just another movie like this with more characters, I want to see more like this. Whether it's whether it's a new Chip and Dale cartoon that reflects the quality of the cartoon intro at the beginning, or just another live action hybrid. I want more stuff like this. This was just fun. It was nostalgic and dark. Like, it reminds you of why Roger Rabbit was such a good movie to begin with. Now, I'd still say Roger Rabbit was probably the better of the films, though, but this was still a great follow-up, or successor, I should say. There's so many movies that try capturing the feel of Roger Rabbit, and they just fail miserably. So it's like Space Jam: New Legacy. They tried doing it, but what ruined it was, once again, it was recycling the plot of an old film, and it was only relying on their IPs. This one, Disney wasn't, for once since Roger Rabbit, they finally went out and got more IPs. I mean, yeah, Ready Player One did it, but once again, it was mostly Warner Brothers properties in that movie, and only a few like Universal cameos. But they're blink and you'll miss it. So
can we next time we get a freaking hybrid cartoon film movie? Can we have no rapping, please?
Yeah.
Well, I at least liked how they were doing it to make fun of it.
I know.
Don't eat whale, everyone.
I liked how the snake was just like, oh, they're terrible at rapping. I did usually a scene like that would make me cringe, and I actually did get a laugh out of that scene.
At least they weren't twerking or anything or doing some stupid dance moves.
Like the floss or whatever.
Well, I liked how when Dale first started rapping, Chip's like, I'm in hell. Probably the only swear word in this movie.
The butt on the map, thinking, "Oh my god, he drew a butt on the map. They didn't ruin it." But
he so would do that. He so would do that.
Yeah.
So far, I thought a lot of the adult humor in this was passable. Like, there are some movies where it feels so forced. Like, I'll even say some of the Sonic movies had some really juvenile humor. And here for Chip and Dale, I didn't think it went too far. But I did like the part where when Chip was talking about his dog, like Dale thought he was talking about his partner. And he's like, no, she's a dog. And he's like, oh, come on, you don't need to talk about her like that.
Dog was a cutie.
But overall, it does have some adult humor in this, but very tame. Like, it will easily go over kids' heads, so it's not insultingly bad like the Cat in the Hat movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this movie, and I'd highly recommend if you have Disney Plus, or even if you don't have Disney Plus, get it right now and watch Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. So.
In my opinion, it's the best film I've seen this year.
Same here. I love Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but I gotta admit, I actually had more fun with this.
Me too. I laughed so hard every minute. It was brilliant.
Mm-hmm. I had a smile from the beginning to end, even during the parts that made me kind of question. I'd say the biggest what the fuck moment was Gadget and Zipper.
Yeah, what I was thinking, why did they bang?
Okay, they got married, fine, but did they have to have kids?
Unless she cloned
And then
herself.
also, I did find it disappointing how they weren't there for the final battle either. It's like, oh, they're just there to drop Dale off. It's like, oh, come on, they should have joined
Yeah.
alongside him.
Big cock up.
And then they show up right when it's over. Oh, thanks, Dale. You did all the hard stuff. Now we'll come out of hiding.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like Conker's Bad Fur Day with the final boss. You think you're gonna fight the panther? Nope.
And so, is that all we have to say then? Anything else?
Don't eat whale.
I'm just glad the chipmunks weren't eating each other's shit.
Yeah, okay, I guess the final thing I'll say is, yes, Chip and Dale are better than Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yes! Yes, definitely.
Screw you, Peter Pan. Okay, I guess that's all we have to say for now. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, fun movie. A little flawed here and there, but not enough to ruin it. We enjoyed it. I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, well, that's all we have to say for now. Thank you for watching. See you next time, and have a great day.
See ya.